Okay, Cancer, let's just see. Now, it's really uncanny how this particular deck just is always spot on as to exactly what kind of energy you need. And it also just sort of sets the tone for the whole entire reading because it's your spirit guide and it's what leads you in a certain direction and the energy that's following you or you're following. So let's find out what your spirit animal is for the month of September. And you would think, this set of cards, it's hokey or, it doesn't make sense, but it actually is so very accurate. It's insane. Okay, let's see. Okay. I can hear the wind outside. I can feel the energy. It's definitely this one. Okay, so you got the skunk spirit, which is, skunks are actually like very tenacious, very smart. They have this protection method around them, and it also says to know your worth. Okay, so it's an interesting card to get. Knowing your worth, it sounds kind of funny, but what a skunk will do is when a predator comes up to them, they'll spray them, and they only have like 6 sprays in them, and then it takes them like a month to make some more spray. And so they have to be really careful about who they spray and when they spray, and they have to kind of know what is dangerous, what isn't dangerous, who they can trust, who they can't trust. So it's a lot of sort of decision making as to who they're going to spray, and it's a self-defense mechanism. And so within that, when it says to know your worth, you really have this mechanism to protect your worth, to make sure that the decisions that you make have something to do with your personal achievements and your goals and the things that you set for yourself, your values. And if you know that your values are worthy, if you know that your goals are worthy, if you know these things, then you have to kind of defend against intruders that would tend to throw you off of your path or throw you out of your values or lead you in some sort of direction that you're not supposed to go in. So it all kind of ties together. And so I don't know, Cancer, if for the month of August you had things happen to you, especially around, that Uranus retrograde, that made you feel sort of not confident in yourself. You're questioning your ability to evaluate people. You're wondering, is what I'm feeling. Is this sense of like, do I really know myself that well? Why can't I see what's coming at me? So see how these cards are very, very loaded. Okay, so that's the theme basically of the story that we're starting here. And next we're going to get more of the story. So every time I try to get a story that's more on the metaphysical side, I use the Rider-Waite deck, and then I use the cosmic deck, the constellations. Ugh, can barely talk today. The constellations to tell me more of a cosmic sort of story. So let's just see from the Rider-Waite. I picked 3 cards, and I know it's a little difficult to see them, but I will show them to you. And then I picked 3 of the Celestial deck. So if you want a good story, Cancer, please type down below, give me a good story, because I want to hear a good story. And even sometimes when you don't hear such a good story, it reveals a problem. It reveals some sort of problem that you need to work on. And just knowing that helps you come closer to a solution. So you're still getting blessings and you're still getting good energy. It's just making you aware, okay? So it's all a good story in the end, okay? So I'm going to turn all of these over first, and then I'm going to tell you about them. Okay, interesting. You got all of your cards in reverse, which weirdly enough, the Geminis that are before you in the celestial deck also got all of their cards right side up. So this is going to be an upside down interpretation of everything. So you got the King of Wands upside down. You got the Hermit, which is the Virgo, upside down. You got the Prince of Swords upside down. And this is interesting too because the Prince of Swords and the Hermit both came up for Gemini. Then you also have the High Priestess upside down. You have that came up for Gemini too. You have the Four of Pentacles upside down and the Page of Swords upside down. So this is already kind of coming out to me because you have the Prince of Swords here and the Page of Swords here. So your celestial reading, your cosmic reading is telling you that you can't move forward here. You've got two swords, okay? And this is telling me that because they're in reverse, that you are not using communication well enough to cut to the truth. And that makes so much sense with that skunk card. Like you're not cutting to the truth. You feel like everything's sort of a cryptic or mysterious. Like, do I trust this person? Do I not trust this person? I can't really, I've lost sight of how I'm supposed to proceed. And it could be one person or it could be several people. It could be like an ongoing problem that you're having, just discerning between, what's the truth, and you can't seem to move forward, and it almost seems like you're new at this, but you're not. Like, that's what's so bizarre, because you do have a lot of intuition, but as you can see, your High Priestess is upside down. So something has made you second guess yourself and second guess your intuition. And it's also making you hold on to money here. It's making you fearful of letting go of things because you're super worried about it. And then also you have the Hermit upside down, so you kind of feel exposed as well, like you can't find a place to reflect or a place to regroup. Like you really need some sort of regrouping going on, and you feel like you can't have it. And then you have your King of Wands also upside down, meaning that you're not standing in your power. You're not manifesting what you want, and everything seems very difficult. I'm so sorry. And that could be just the energy that's rolling over from August, like what I was telling you, where people's worlds were turned upside down. And that's okay, because I feel you. I hear where you're at. I feel where you're at. And it's not comfortable, but again, we're going to move into that full moon in Pisces where you can reflect on all of this and you can start to feel better about all this. And it's really going to help you get stronger, because your true node is going to feel stronger. And then by the time you have this new moon in Virgo, you're going to be ready to reset. You're going to get your routine back on. You're going to get your health back to normal. You're going to get you're going to start having also too this sense of, because Virgos have the ability to I don't want to say judge people, but to evaluate people, because they are the sign that basically puts us all under a microscope. And so you're going to get some of that wisdom back that you were looking for, especially around September 17th. So with that, let's see what kind of energy, this is the last card I'm going to pick. What kind of energy do you need to get over this, or what's going on? So, if you want to type down below, give me good energy, help me get past this, or tell me what the story is. And if you still need further help too, please just don't hesitate to write to me at askjenniferwinters@gmail.com. I can do you a personal reading to really maybe help you get out of this situation. But first, let's just see what energy card and what does that mean for you? How are you going to move forward in this situation? Or explain to us the situation. Can you give us a blessing or solution or an explanation? So let's see what's going on. Okay, Cancer. Okay, feels really tough. Okay, so it's definitely this one. Okay, so you got the 5th chakra, which is your throat chakra, and it's the Archangel Gabriel. And this makes sense to me because with, I mean, gosh, this is so bizarre how this happens. But you have the pages here of swords, and when you have the mutable air sign, you have the mutable air, and then also the page of swords, which again, an air sign. And that has a lot to do with communication. And you've just kind of lost your voice, even if it's not the audible voice. It's like sort of your voice within. Like when we were talking about the skunk, we're talking about your values, your goals, your defenses, all of that stuff is something that you need to communicate, if not even just communicating it internally to yourself and then later outwardly. So whatever has taken, put its talons in you, it's really gripping you and it's making you second guess yourself, and it's silenced you. It silenced you inside, and then it's also silenced you outwardly as well. So what I would say is you want to do, I have meditations. I don't know if you've seen them, but they're also on my channel. So if you want to really meditate on this and then activate your fifth chakra and also have the Archangel Gabriel protect you and come over you and bless you and give you strength, give you courage, help you stick with your values, help you protect yourself, help you live a better life for yourself, help you find your voice, and then you're going to stand in your power again. You're going to have the King of Wands. You're going to stand in your power again. You're going to initiate again. You're going to have passion again. It's just something seems like it put your fire out, and now it needs to come back. So and you have this trumpet here, so you can get that voice out as loud as possible. Start from within, though. Start with the self-talk, with self-motivation, with encouraging yourself and reminding yourself of just like how in the past you were able to trust your own instincts, and now you can do that again, okay?